Hi there guys, welcome to an episode. So if you remember in the previous episode, we actually got Millie on the rotisserie. So as you can see, she is now up in the air. So the plan with this video now is to be able to turn her onto her side because I want to start doing this bodywork here. But before we do that, we need to get rid of the front suspension, we need to get rid of the rear suspension, and we need to get rid of the fuel tank because that still does have a little bit of fuel left in it.
Right, so we'll start off by removing the wheel here. As I tend to do with pretty much everything, I put the bolts back from wherever I took them from. It just makes it easier to find out where they came from in the end. I take away the steering joint, and then basically it's underneath the car to get rid of the bottom arm, which just fell out there. So all that's left now is the two bolts on the top, both 13 mils. We're going to do the first one, put that bolt to one side, and then catch hold of everything, because when it does come like that, it's pretty heavy. So that is the whole unit removed on my side, the driver's side on this one. So we can now move on to the other side. Right, so the other side is exactly the same two 13mm bolts at the top, and then it comes down. Can't quite remember what it got stuck on, but it got stuck on something coming out, but eventually I did manage to just wiggle it free, and off it comes like that. So we'll just put that to one side now. And as I say, this is the passenger side. Took it apart. I will be replacing things like wheel bearings, brake discs, that sort of thing, brake pads. Obviously the hoses have been sat there for God knows how long, so they'll need replacing. Shock absorbers don't look like they're leaking, but I'll probably replace them anyway. They've been there for a long time, so to get them gone. Other than that, the drive shafts come out. I'll probably change the boots and things like that on there. And the bottom arm there, probably the bushes on there as well will be replaced at some point. I'd like to put poly bushes in there, but probably not. To keep it original. Same there, poly bushes there. I don't know if I can get them. I will do, but I don't want to upgrade this car too much, so we'll just keep it at that. But obviously CV joints have to get out. I can't get that one out at the moment, so I'll get that out, but that can be just kept as one unit now, and I can replace it as and when I need to. So in the wheel arch here, we've got the brake pipes. Not fantastic. They are pretty rusty, as you can see there. So they will need replacing, and they will be replaced as well with new copper pipes. I'll do similar like I did with Alice, where I bent the pipes around the new ones, just followed them along with new copper pipes, and cable tied it to keep it in place, and then just bent it along the ends, just flare them and put new ones on there. But new brake pipes going in, and that'll be done all the way around the entire car, front and back. Right, moving on to the rear axle. As you can see here, I've already cut the brake pipes. Now, I'm going to replace all the rubber pipes anyway, so it doesn't matter that I've cut it off. The clips are absolutely terrible to get these off, so rather than breaking them, I'll just cut the hose off. It doesn't make much difference, but I don't want to get them stuck. I'll be able to get them off when the axle's loose on the ground anyway. So we've only got that bolt to take out now on either side. We've disconnected the handbrake. It's just a bolt that goes into there. Once that's disconnected, that's just loose. So that's done. All we've got to do now is get this bolt out on both sides, and then the shock absorber mounts, and we can pretty much drop the axle straight down onto the ground. All that's left to do now is drop the shock absorbers. Oh, And one last thing I forgot to do was the panhard rod, and I'm going to take it off probably at the top of the chassis here, as long as I can get the bolts out. And then we can just drag the axle out. Right, so with all that removed, rear axle and the front suspension, I can take it all apart as and when I want to, repair anything that needs repairing, but underneath here, it looks pretty empty. And that means the only thing that's left to do now is take out the fuel tank.
Right, fuel tank out. I didn't manage to get it on camera because it came out actually fairly quickly and I ended up spilling some of it on the floor, but it's now out there on the ground emptied. So that really is the last big component, especially from underneath. There is pretty much nothing left. There's only like the gear stick and the handbrake and brake lines, fuel lines, that sort of thing underneath there now. So the underneath is pretty stripped. Bodywork wise, the doors are still on. I'm contemplating whether to take them off or leave them on at the moment. I'm not quite sure yet. But we can look inside the car, through the car. Inside the car, we've still got steering rack, pedal box left. Other than that, you've got things like the handbrake, the rear seat belts are still in place, but there's not a lot left in here. Obviously the sunroof and the interior roof is still in here, but there's not a lot left in this car anymore. So what I want to do now is clean off all the stuff that's collected on the roof, clean off all the stuff that's in here, probably get a hoover out, give it a quick hoover, and then, oh, I need to empty the here as well. There's quite a bit of stuff, tools and bolts and bits and bobs lying around in here, but once they're all gone, we can give this car a bit of a twist. So this is the roll end over the jig, and it's got this wheel attached here, so that locks it onto the axle, and it has a lock here. So basically you turn the lock there and that undoes this end now, so that's now free. So this end is now free to move. Do the same with the other end, and then I can start to turn the body around and we'll lock it off. I'm not going to go upside down, but I do want to get the car at an angle there because I want to start on this side of the car. So we're going to go from there to probably about that angle, and then we'll lock it off. There we go. I wasn't expecting to get it all on its side, but that's completely 90 degrees on its side. And how much easier doesn't it make to get to the bottom of that car and repair all the floor and stuff? So we can see the bits of rust here, but we can even get to getting the bodywork off, all the brake pipes off, all the bits and bobs off the bottom of the car and be able to repair it. That does look cool. Stood up like that. Well, there we go then. We've got Millie up on her side, and now we can start working on, well, I'm not going to start working on underneath just yet, but I can start doing this panel here, but it does show how much easier that is going to be to work on. I can now stand up, do the bottom of the car, get it all cleaned off, nice and neat, all the pipes off and all the rest of it, stood up in a nice working area. So I'm really happy with that. Thank you to Vectis Borden for this lift, because that is a massive, massive time saving for me, especially lying on my back trying to do everything. So really, really pleased with that. So if you liked anything you've seen in this episode, please drop me a like and a subscribe. I'll see you in the next video where, well, we start doing some bodywork. Basically, we're going to start with this panel up here, getting rid of that, start welding it in, some wheel arches and stuff like that. But we're going to go from there. So don't forget to follow me. I'll see you in the next episode. Thanks a lot for watching, and bye-bye.